I made it to this video. This is the introduction video for going through the Old Testament that I'm going to start doing on Monday. And I just wanted to do an introduction video about it, just to talk about like what I'll be focusing on and how the format is going to go and that kind of thing. So I wanted to start out with this quote, and this I heard a long time ago when I was young, a new Christian and all that. I heard this quote, and it's so true. The Old Testament is the New Testament concealed, and the New Testament is the Old Testament revealed. So this is so true. I mean, I don't know who came up with this, but it's genius. So and it's just true. But anyway, so when I was young, this kind of thing was widespread, and you heard this, you knew about it, everybody knew about it, in churches, people knew, they were more educated, let's just say, about all these things. And, as I said, in the 2000s, that all kind of went away. Now, nobody knows anything about anything, and there may be exceptions, of course, there are always exceptions, but for the most part, people are pretty, I hate to use this word, but they're pretty ignorant of these things, and many are very biblically illiterate. And it's just because they won't pick up their Bible and read it and pray for the Holy Spirit to enlighten the word. They are, I don't know why, but they don't. So back then it was pretty widespread, and now it's not. You go into these churches and you won't hear this kind of stuff. You won't hear all these great in-depth details that tie it all together and all this kind of stuff. They barely scratch the surface. Everything is lightweight, everything is fluffy, everything is watered down. It's all some PowerPoint presentation with a few little highlights in there that might include a Bible verse. I mean, many times that's what I see in these places when I was running around checking things out. That's it. And, no wonder people don't know anything. I mean, unless you study it for yourself, you're just not going to know. And when I was young, it was different, but now it is this way. And that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this. That's why I'm doing this channel. And that's it. So anyway, okay, so that's the quote. And now what I'll focus on and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in the minor prophets. And then some of them I'm going to focus on the whole book, like Malachi and Zechariah. And then, depending, Jonah, some of them I'm going to do the whole book. And then I'm going to do the major prophets. And I'm probably going to, I'll do Daniel, and then, because that's shorter, and then I'll do the other three bigger major prophets. And then I'm going to do the wisdom books, but I'm going to start with the Song of Songs, or it's called the Song of Solomon. Then I'm going to do Job, which is a wisdom book, but I'll do that. And then I'll do Esther, because it's kind of a separate thing too. And then I'll do the history, which is Genesis through Nehemiah. And anyway, I'm going to focus on, I have my list. I have types, which is a big deal. So they're types of Christ, and they're types in general. It could be the end times. It could be the bride. It could be some other item, but they're types. So general types as well. Types of Christ and general types. Then there are prophecies. So we have messianic prophecies, and of course, I'll relate and connect how they're all fulfilled. The first arrival set and the second arrival set is going to be fulfilled at the second arrival. So, anyway, those I'll be going over. And then there's a separate set of millennial stuff for that. So, I have a list for that. Then, prophecies, we have end times prophecies. Some of them are in the Old Testament, and I'll be going over that. And there are other prophecies that are just general prophecies. The thing is, all the others have been fulfilled. That's the thing, except the end times. And I'll come back to that, and then I'll do this salvation outline that's hidden in there in the Old Testament and the history part. So that's really neat, and I have that. I'll go over. It's a whole an outline. So anyway, that's exciting for me, and that is the main thing. All these things I'll be focusing on as I go through. Now, things I won't be focusing on, just so you know. Again, I mean, I'll mention it, but there are a lot of all the other prophecies have been fulfilled. And, if you read through, you'll see Isaiah and others mention maybe a judgment that was pronounced upon a certain land, and it was fulfilled. And I researched this, that, it's documented that these things happened. It's another proof of the Bible, but all this stuff has been fulfilled. So I'll mention that as that kind of point, but I'll just mention that, yes, this was fulfilled, but I'm not going to read through the whole thing, every pronouncement of judgment that was proclaimed against this land or that land. I mean, it's done. Okay, we know, I'm not going to just elaborate on all that. So I'll just kind of mention it and move on. Okay, so that's it. So and that goes for Israel too. There were judgments proclaimed against Israel, and some of these can be kind of long. So I'm just going to mention that, and okay, this is that, and then I'm going to move on. But we're not going to get anything out of it other than, okay, be good or else, right? I mean, that's it. So there's no point in reading lines and lines of all this. So those I'll just mention it. I'll go through the pages and mention this is this, that's that, but I'm not going to read every line just because, So that's that. And then there are other things similarly like that, it's just a done deal or whatever. So, and then, for instance, genealogies, I'm not going to go over the long genealogies like they did the census. It counted how many there were every so often, and in each tribe when they were going through the wilderness. I'm not going to read all that, but they're interesting facts about symbolism that are hidden in the Old Testament. I'll definitely be going over that. So that kind of stuff, definitely, I love that. But I'll go over that. I mean, it's meaningful, but I mean, all the details of other things, I'll kind of just mention it in passing. Okay, so that's it about that. So that's how the format of this is going to go. In case something changes, okay, I'm not sure, but I'll definitely be going over these things. If I decide to do this book before that book instead for some reason, okay, fine. But more or less, that's going to be the format of it all. So I think that's everything on my list I was going to mention about that. But I wanted to mention one more thing about the YouTube thing. Okay, so when you're on YouTube, I'm just noticing, like, I don't know what the deal is with, how much the channel is getting pushed out there, promoted or not promoted, that kind of thing. I know people are seeing the videos. I'm getting the feedback on the amount of people looking, and it accumulates, like the time people are watching and stuff. So I see that. I see that, there is something happening out there, but um, I I don't know what people are aware of, in the sense of, some people might be very new to YouTube and not really know how to navigate things and how it all works. I mean, we all were there once, you had to figure it out. So I just want to include a few details because it might stimulate some activity here. So for instance, if you're watching this video, you see the video and you see the title of the video, and then under that should be the little, symbol, and next to that is the channel name. So if you click on that, the ladies Bible study, all that, click on that, and that will take you to the main page of the channel. Okay, and then you're on the channel. And then once you're on the channel, you'll see different things. There will be the banner on top, but then there's an introduction video for the channel, and it will pop on after a few second delay. And other than that, you can just hit where it says videos, and then you'll automatically get the lineup of the videos in the order. And I always number the videos. So whatever the number is you see, it's going to be two more on top when it says how many videos, because I have two I didn't put a number on, and of course it's going to include those when it adds it all. So like this, I'll name it 199. So it would show 201 then. But anyway, so you see all of them, and it goes, all the way back to the beginning of where there's two. Well, the intro is one, I didn't number that, and then I have a number 0 because it was just an intro too. So the content starts with number 1. But anyway, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you just hit that bar you see on the right with the mouse and move it all the way down. You can keep going and you get to the bottom, so you can see all the videos that are there. And then you can look through. I tried to title them according to the topic, or at least something that was in the video that got answered or addressed. So they're kind of organized that way. And if you want a certain thing, you can go to that where there's a magnifying glass, and you can type in maybe the number of the video or the topic, and then hit enter, and that list should pop up, or the one video. So that's how you can get around in there and just navigate and explore everything and see if there's anything. I kept saying number 19. I found out yesterday because I finally looked again, and it's been a while. I forgot it's actually number 16. And number 6 that has more about the basics of the gospel. But if you're new, I encourage you to look there, and the beginning videos, and then just explore it all. I know I put out a lot of videos since I started the channel quite a while ago, and I couldn't get to anything until the end of May, and then I've just hit the ground running, and I've been putting up videos. So that's the plan. I'll keep going with that. But anyway, that's how you can just explore all that. And then, of course, I always encourage people to subscribe. You just hit that button that says subscribe. And then you can, once you're watching a video, you can hit the like button. And this helps get the word out about, the channel spreads more. And I can use the help. And leaving comments will do that as well, as long as they're nice, friendly comments. Okay. So that, I like to hear things, questions, or anything from anyone. So there's that. And of course, watching the video helps as well because it promotes it in another way. And so, you can watch, you can like, you can comment, subscribe, of course, and you can share the videos. So when you're watching a video, you just see there's like a little button that says share, and there's an arrow. So hit that, and then a box pops up, and it has the link. Next to it, it says copy or share. I do it all the time, and I can't even think of it, but you hit that, and then it will copy that link to your little invisible paste board. And then you go to, it could be another video, comment section, just on the internet, comment section, it can be an email, but wherever you go and you click in there and it should pop up and then you can share it. But another way you can do that, if this is useful anyway, if you want to copy something, you just highlight it and hit the control button and the C, like hold down control and then hit C. And then if you want to paste it on another comment section or wherever, you click in there and then you hit control and V. It would be control copy, control paste, but the P was for something else if you want to print a screen. So they used a V for pasting it in, okay, like copying it into the comment section. You hit control V. And you can share videos that way anywhere. And that's another way to help spread the channel. So if you're enjoying this and you're benefiting from this, I encourage you to do that so more people can also benefit from the channel. And that's it. In my introduction video, I talked about how, I don't know if this will ever get monetized, and I'm not against that, but I'm not taking any money from my listeners directly. I'm not putting up any kind of donate buttons or anything like that. I'm not going to have a little store, that sells merchandise. It's just not my cup of tea, let's just say. I'll put it that way. But so I'm not going to be doing that. But, if I don't get monetized, that's fine too. Anyway, so that's it. But if you want more of information about those things, just watch the intro video up there. And I think that's all I was going to say about the channel, like a little channel tour and a tutorial of YouTube in general, how you get around a little. But there's so much, I wanted to include this in case you're new and you don't know. That's what you can do to get around. But okay. And then with the one more thing about the Old Testament, like what I'll do is I'll read it in chunks and then do a video. So it might be a little different with how many videos are coming out, depending on how it goes, how fast I can do it all. So I'll go through the whole Old Testament, but like I said, I'll read parts and make notes, and then I'll put out one video or several videos and move along as fast as I can go along. But I don't know if it's going to be at the same pace as it was with this. So, and I'll probably do here and there. A topical one, throw in something as it comes up. So I'll probably keep doing that too. Okay, so that is it. I will take a break over the weekend and I'll be back on Monday. So have a blessed weekend and I'll be back next week and next month.